All right, we're back. Here we go again. It's time for Facts to Your Friends. We've got to change this music. I mean, from the bottom of my heart. All right. You know what? We're at Smashing Pumpkins time now. I'll take Smashing Pumpkins over that. And I think
you truly hit a low point.
It's lower than low.
As the producer of this show, that's a no.
Okay, so I made the internets really uncomfortable the other day. And so here's what I wrote on the Instagrams. This morning, I planned to take my 7-year-old daughter on a Valentine's breakfast date. I got up early and got my workout done. I told my daughter we were going on a date, and she said no, she wouldn't go. I was crushed, and it really made me sad. But my sadness is not hers to carry. So I told her I loved her to the moon and back, and I would love to take her on a date anytime she would have me. I then wrote, parents, managing our emotions is our job, not our kids, even when it hurts. Whoo, man, people got opinions on that. So I'm going to clarify, dig in a little bit. And I am right and you are not. Okay, so here we go. Here's some clarity to that Instagram post. The night before Valentine's Day, I asked my daughter, hey, I would like to take you on a date tomorrow to get waffles or pancakes, just a special time with dad and daughter. She said, no, I don't want to go. I want to have my regular morning and then go to school. And mommy drives me to school. I disregarded her feelings. I asked her and she said no. And I just blew right past it. And I moved into my little fantasy land that she wanted this date as much as me. And I was telling myself the story. It's going to be great for both of us. And then 25 years from now, she's going to remember how dad always showed up on Valentine's Day. I create all these stories. Now here's some backstory here. I've been a ball of tension and frustration and exhaustion. Writing a book, the process for me, it takes something from me. I leave something on the field. Particularly this last book, because I had to dig into some stories I haven't wanted to dig into in a long time, and I had to be really honest with myself. I ended up calling a counselor after writing it, not because it's so dark and moody, but I realized I'm not doing some of the things that I'm recommending other people do to make their lives more whole and less anxious and helping them be more well. I need to go take care of them. So it was hard. It was a hard process. And this sounds cheesy and woo-woo, but writing drains the bloody hell out of me. It literally takes something from me. I got deadlines, an editor, friends coming to town, kids, trying to be a good husband, being on the road. I got a show that we're doing every day. And over the years, I've become pretty good at stuffing it down. One thing that I feel really confident about is if I say I'm going to get it done, I'll get it done. And I'll get it done to the expense of everything around me, including my own health, but I'll get it done. I believe strongly in that. And kids absorb tension. Also, for self-preservation, they have a highly attuned neuroception. It's a word coined by Dr. Stephen Porges, the polyvagal theory guy. And I'm not hook, line, and sinker on polyvagal theory, but 1,000% I believe the science is super clear. Our bodies are always searching the environment for threats. Kids, especially. If you think of it in evolutionary terms, they had to, because they're tiny little creatures that always are scanning to say, is that guy safe? Is she safe? Is this situation safe? Is that guy safe? You ever introduce your kid to one of your friends that's kind of sketchy? And they just hide behind your leg? They feel it. They know. And I'm 1,000% convinced that my daughter feels the underlying tension in my body. Her little body's always scanning the world. It senses it sees my tense shoulders and it hears the sharpness in my voice. It feels the tension in my muscles when I hold her. And so when she says no, this isn't her being a brat, a whiny little baby. And I joke about it all the time, but that's not that at all. It's her trying to preserve herself. And I got to live with that. I've created a world where my daughter doesn't feel safe. And I'm not abusive. I don't yell. I don't hit. I don't swear. but I'm a nuclear reactor sometimes, especially when I don't take care of myself, especially when I'm lonely, especially when I'm not honest about how I'm feeling. And so, if you've ever listened to anything I've said, three critical important things are happening. So listen to me super, super carefully. I can't think of anything I've got more important to share than this right here. Number one, I'm going to honor my daughter's request for bodily autonomy. If she feels unsafe around a nuclear reactor, which is what I've been lately, I'm going to teach her through my actions that she should learn to trust her body. And this also comes with consequences. I took her brother out. We go to breakfast every Tuesday. I went ahead and took him because that was our normal routine, and she missed a great time, and we hung out with the wait staff, and we made jokes. Now we've become friends with the people at Waffle House. I love those guys. And we ate too much. We had a blast. She missed it. So there was some consequence there. Number two, if I force her to go, or I force her to kiss me goodnight, or I force her to give me a hug when I get home from work, I'm teaching her that when some man comes along who is bigger than her or stronger or has more power than her, she should bow before him and let him use her body as a way to make himself feel better. And I refuse to let my daughter go through the world thinking it's her job to make sure the men in her life are all happy and fine, especially at the expense of her body. I won't do it. And I'm going to teach her at a young age that she has autonomy and she gets to say no. Period. And if her saying no makes me sad or hurts my feelings, that's for me to deal with, because she does not have the power to change my feelings because she's 7. She weighs about 14 pounds. She doesn't have that power. I'm not going to give it to her. That brings me to number 3. My daughter's 7. Your kid's 14, 17, 11, 3, however old they are. They don't have the power to hurt your feelings or to make you sad or to make you angry. You are in control of that. And if you outsource it to your kids, they will try to carry that burden as long as they can until it finally crushes them. When I took a step back, I realized I wanted to build some relational equity with my daughter on Valentine's morning because it would be a gift for me. For me, had very little to do with her. I wanted to take her out on a date that I designed against her wishes because I thought it'd be great for her. It's not my daughter's job to make me feel okay. She can't carry that burden. And when I look around at the landscape, I've worked with young people for 2 decades. Moms and dads, our kids are being buried under our expectations that they make sure that we're all okay. That they get the jobs we want them to have, they drive the cars we think they should drive, they marry who we think they should marry, that they work, they they major in the thing we think they should major in. That we show up to the holidays that we prescribe for them, even though they can't afford it, or they're exhausted, or they're working like crazy, or they got 2 little ones. It's their job to make sure those little ones are in our house so that we can have they're dying under our expectations that they prop us up. And as the world has gotten increasingly more and more lonely parents, we have transferred our need for connection onto our kids. And now I've got the number of moms and dads I've met with who are like, no, my 14-year-old daughter's my best friend. God help that 14-year-old. Me and my 16-year-old are best friends. Like my heart breaks for that 16-year-old. Because she can't carry your adult friendship. He can't carry your friendship. You got to have grown-up friends and let your kids have their own friends. And here's one more note. A mother wrote me and asked about spilling her guts after her husband died. She read this post, and she wrote me and said, hey, my husband died of cancer, and now I'm feeling guilty because I dumped all this out and my kids saw it all. Letting your kids see you grieving and letting your kids see you devastated is an incredible gift. Such a gift. Because your kids, if they lose their dad, or dad loses his job, or mom is sick, or whatever is going on in your life, they're going to be sad and devastated and frustrated too. And if mom and dad turn into concrete statues and these stoic robots who just go through life like nothing's affecting them, I don't want to show the kids, I don't want to scare the kids, then what happens is you don't scare the kids, but the kids go crazy because they feel it. And they look at mom and dad to see how they're supposed to be responding. And mom and dad are just walking around like automatrons. So the greatest gift you can give your kids is to let them know that you're sad. Let them know that you are devastated by grief. Just don't force your kids to make you to be responsible for making you feel less sad and less heartbroken. That's not their job. Here's how this looks in the real world, okay? I wrote this down. Mom is feeling so sad. Like this is a mom talking to their kids. Mom is feeling so sad. I lost my friend. My friend died, and I'm hurting so much inside. And I'm gonna go see a counselor or visit with my friends because I'm in so much pain. And if you're ever hurting, I want you to know you're not alone. And I'm always here for you for a hug, a good cry, or to go for a long walk, or maybe even sneak some Girl Scout cookies. Whatever you need. I want you to know that I love you. And if you're ever hurting like this, I'll be here for you. That's different than mommy's feeling so sad. I lost my friend died, and I'm hurting so much inside. Come give me a hug so I can feel better. Your hugs make me feel so much better. I need my hug so I'm not so sad and lonely. Now, mom has shifted the burden of her pain onto her kid, and that kid's going to begin looking for ways to make mom less sad, less painful, less angry, to make dad less reactive. And it's not their job. So back to my daughter. I hugged my daughter and said, I love you, and I can't wait to go on a date with you when you'll have me. And to be honest, I went in my bedroom and I wept. I cried hard. Not just because my daughter said no to me on our Valentine's Day, but because I know I've been a mess. And it spills onto people at work. It spills onto my wife. And now it's spilling onto my kids. I've been avoiding dealing with my own crap for a long time, and my daughter's body called me out on it. It's my job to deal with my emotions, not hers. It's our job as adults to be the adults and to go seek out relationships and support and help from other adults, not our kids. They got enough of their own crap to be carrying to not carry us.